black to the bone.
Yo, my lineage laced with a syllable switch. Born in the belly with a system glitch where red lines boxed us, but the rhythm ain't pause. We broke through codes like encrypted laws. Got grit in my granddad's Sunday shoes, and a sermon in the scars that my kinfolk bruise. We ain't exiles, we the architects. Every brick they stack, we catch the checks. Barbershop bars with elections wait. Whole block spoke in the cadence of fate. Ain't no journey back, we the land's design. Pan black flame in the marrow of time.
Slide with pride where the roots don't run. Soul in my stride, build the throne from home. March like maroons with the blueprint flame. Hand black ghosts in the patriot's name. From chain to change, we bend but don't break. We cook from scratch, still flip the plate. Raise our youth with the rebels' truth. Support our own, it's the fountain.
Let's talk kids' songs like a field chant flip. From trap house trauma to scholarship scripts. They remix pain, but my cadence reclaim. I rhyme with range, both storm and flame. Block party blues in a Section 8 echo. Graffiti gospel in a lunchline stiletto. We fed whole cities from a ration plate. Made feasts from a famine that we legislate. I'm not from the gospel, I'm from the drought. From the cradle of riots where they count us out. Now we cashing in on that census lie. Pan black pride with a Congress eye.
Slide with pride where the roots don't run. Soul in my stride, build the throne from home. March like maroons with the blueprint flame. Pan black ghosts in the patriot's name. From chain to change, we bend but don't break. We cook from scratch, still flip the plate. Raise our youth with the rebels' truth. Support our own, it's the fountain.
Now watch this, I switch pitch like a preacher in praise. Every line's a libation to the sun so rays. Oakland Nights to be more fights. We ghost.
We about to get started.
They talk pan African.
We about to talk about it.
Backbone of movements with a metronome grind. Street lecture loops. Got the elders nod.
Get them lights up when you come up in the room. About to introduce it. Fba Constitution. Everybody been asking about it. Everybody been asking about it. Y'all know when y'all come here, we gonna have solutions for y'all. So come on up in here. I'm up. I'm awake. It's about 4:51 a.m. on the West Coast. But I'm giving it live. I'm giving it to everybody, East and West. Let's do it. I told y'all we gonna talk about it, so we gonna get to it.
Like American bold and free. We the root, the route, the right to be. If I gotta bite my tongue just to get a deal,
Come on.
then it ain't real. If they can kiss me
Divine
for
Day.
truth,
Yes,
I ain't
indeed.
never been free.
Yes, indeed. We about to get into it. I told y'all we gonna talk about it.
Then blow fast with those who don't
How you doing,
ride.
Monique?
Fba coin in my veins, blockchain.
Saw that post about the black beach. That's a great
It's
idea.
homegrown bloodline billionaire. I don't chase their bags. My worth's in the people, not in
Y'all get the lights up, man, so we can start having a conversation. Yeah, I just woke up, but I'm here. I'm here.
FBA coin rising, we changing the game, man. Real
It's about to go down.
legacy, not luck. I ain't been for bucks or adjusting the tux. See the
Y'all come on up in here, man. We about to get into it, man. We about to get into it, family. Gotta break this thing down, man. We have got to cling to our identity. We have got to cling to our culture. And we have got to put things back in place that may have got messed up along the way due to white supremacy, due to COINTELPRO. I keep telling my people, and I'm going to keep saying it, we are all we got, man. If we don't treat each other good, who do we expect to treat us good? Think about that. When you don't treat your family good, your family members, your family have to go to other communities hoping that they do them well because their own family won't treat them well. Think about that. Think about that. That's how you get what do you call it? Divestors. See, divestors, they hate Black America. They hate themselves and Black Americans and their own family so much that they divested from us. And they go right into the hands of a white chief supremacist, and in their mind, they believe this is better. This is better than what I'm getting over. This is a better deal than what I'm getting over here. But we all know they all get their Negro wake-up call. They all get, all of them. Everybody who divests, Pan-Africans, all of y'all get y'all Negro wake-up call. Y'all go run into the hands of Africa and think Africa gonna treat you good. No. Y'all go run into the hands of some Caribbean. Y'all think they gonna treat, no. Run into the YT, run into the Hispanic, no. Nobody's gonna treat you better than your family. But when your family is traumatized, when your family is broken, when things are out of place, I get it. I get it. So we're going to talk about the Fba Constitution. That's what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about the Fba Constitution. Give me 1 second, family. 1 second, family. But that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Fba Constitution. And we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the elders. We're going to talk about the youth. We're going to talk about the matriarch. We're going to talk about the patriarch. We're going to talk about the mothers. And we're going to talk about the builders. We're going to break it all down, man. We're going to break it all down for the family today. Today, we're not going to leave nothing out. We're not going to leave anything out, family. We're going to really break this thing down. Y'all get the likes up, man. Get the likes up to 10K, because we're gonna talk about it. Y'all asked for this. I told y'all if y'all wanted me to, if y'all wanted me to talk about this on yesterday, and y'all said, yeah. Y'all want to do a deep dive. We're going to try to fix and repair some things that were broken in our upbringing, in our system, right? We got to, everybody keeps saying, what's our code of honor? How are we going to treat each other? How are we going to do things? Listen, family, I don't know if everybody's going to jump on board with what we're doing. I don't know. But I know a few of us will. I know enough of us will. Think about it. If we get 1 million of us working and practicing and living this new constitution, if we get everybody on board with this, if we get 5 million people, 20 million people, think about the impact and the change that we can fix. We can repair and fix the things that COINTELPRO, Jim Crow, and just years of trauma that tore our community up. Crack. You understand what I'm saying? Think about that, family. Think about that. If we can get on code, enough of us can get on code. I'm not even expecting all of us. Enough of us can get on code. The power that we can, the things that we can change, and the power that we will possess in our community. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. Hold on, family. I gotta bring it up here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's going down. It's going down. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, we got it right here. So I want to go over some things with the family, man. I want to go over some things with the family. And I want to actually start out by reading some things. Give me 1 second. Okay, check this out. We're going to start out by reading some things for y'all. We're going to start out. The Great Law of Sovereign Legacy. The Great Law of Sovereign. This is how the Fba Constitution starts out. The Great Law. What's good? What's good, Crypto? The Great Law of Sovereign Legacy. A constitution for the sovereign nation of foundational Black America. This is how we got to be moving. We have to be moving like a nation within a nation. Remember what I keep telling y'all. The old system is failing. It's going to fail. It's going to crumble. We got to have something in place. We got to have something in place. We got to know how to do things and run infrastructure and things like that. When this old system gets replaced, what are we going to do? Adopt their new system? Or we are going to have our own system that we are already permeating, already thriving in, already moving in? Think about this, family. If we're going to build, if we're going to tell our people to come out of this crumbling, decrepit, wicked, old industrialized system, we got to have a new system for them to come to. We got to have a constitution that we go by, that we strongly believe in, that's built for us, made by us. We got to have that for ourselves, family. We can't expect people to say, "Hey, come out of that wicked place," and then they be like, "Come out of that and go and do what and go where? Where our jobs gonna come from? How we gonna take care of our family? How we gonna protect our women?" We gotta have this system in place. So I want y'all to listen to this. The preamble, the covenant of restoration. We, the foundational Black Americans, the indigenous descendants of those captured, enslaved, reclassified, and systematically erased on the soil of North America. Since before its founding as the United States, do hereby ordain and establish this Constitution. We emerge not as petitioners seeking validation, but as a sovereign cultural nation, reclaiming our inherent rights. In order to form a more perfect union among our people, establish justice untethered from our oppressors, secure our economic independence, preserve our unique culture from erasure and theft, provide for a common defense, promote the generational welfare of our families, and secure the blessings of sovereignty for ourselves and our posterity. We unite our clans and bind ourselves to this great law. We plant the tree of sovereign legacy, watering its roots with the memory of our ancestors and the promise of our descendants, creating a righteous and self-determining order for all generations to come. That's clean, that's precise, That's powerful. Just let that sink in for a minute, family. Those who are here to listen, listen. I don't expect everybody to pile in the room for this, but I'm gonna give you that game. See, that's what I'm saying. We have to retrain our minds to want the game. I know y'all want to stomp down on some Africans and some Caribbeans and some, y'all, but we gotta get ourselves together, family. Nobody's gonna do it for us. We gotta get ourselves together. We have to restore the covenant that we once had that was broken. We have to restore it. And this is how it starts out. It starts out strong. We got to go into it, family. We got to really go into it. We got to really talk about this thing. We got to really talk about this thing. Today, we're going to talk about our law, our code, not the colonizers' law, not their law, not their code, not what they do, but what we, as a people, as a sovereign people, as a people coming out of a broken system. The foundational Black American Constitution is written, and it ain't based on hope. It ain't based on feelings. It's based on bloodline, on culture, and it's based on sovereignty. We are the nation now. This is FBA country. I don't know what else, I don't know what better way to say it. We are the largest population on this land. This is our land. This is our soil. Everything we built, everything we got, we built it here. We didn't build it anywhere else. We built it here. And we are the ones that should be prospering and benefiting from the things that we built here. We planted our flag. We put our boots to the ground. We put our feet in this soil, our blood in this soil, and we said, this is our land. And we have to say, no one's going to mistreat us on our own land anymore. No one's going to do that. So I'm going to walk you through every piece of this blueprint. We're going to walk you through every piece of this blueprint. Every piece of this blueprint, we're going to walk through it. We're going to walk through it. And I'm going to give y'all the game. And here's another thing, y'all. We're going to add this also on the blockchain. I keep preaching the blockchain. I keep trying to tell y'all that the blockchain is more than what you think it is. Imagine an FBA Constitution on the blockchain. Indefinitely, forever. That's like the blockchain is like having your will done on Earth forever, family. It's really securing it. It's man. I really wish people had the understanding that I have with this blockchain. I wish our people knew more about what blockchain technology is, and how great it is. But we're gonna get through this. What's the tree? The tree of sovereign legacy. What is the tree? It's more than a symbol. The roots, that's lineage, that's land, that's law, that's legacy. The trunk, that's our culture, our code, and our clan system. The branches, that's innovation, unity, protection. And the eagle. The eagle's watching. The justice with a sharp eye. You ever seen people say eagle's eye view? An eagle's eye view or bird's eye view? That's when you get the full perspective. That's when you get the full scope of things. This is not a Pan-African manifesto, family. This is Pan-Black American by bloodline. Our Constitution doesn't ask for inclusion, it establishes the authority. I want to break down some of the, I want to do a little bit of the council breakdown. I'm going to read over what the council is. We have the House of Elders. They hold the wisdom. We got to restore the elders. Our elders got to have wisdom. Or else, how can we go to them and listen to them if they don't have wisdom? We have to restore the House of Elders. We have to restore that, family. The House of Builders, that's our men who protect, provide, and have a plan. How can you expect someone to follow you? How can you expect someone to respect you if you don't have a plan as men? You got to be able to protect, you got to be able to provide, and you got to have a plan. A man without a plan is a man who plans to fail. So we gotta discuss that, and we gotta talk about that, fellas. We expect people to respect our leadership and our positions in the home. Well, are you protecting? Are you providing? And do you have a plan? Or are you out here just winging it? You can't be winging it. You can't be winging it. Our women don't want men who are just winging it. You need to have you need to have goals, and you need to attach deadlines to those goals. That's what you got to do. The House of Mothers, which is the backbone, the womb, the guardian, they keep and they also protect our culture. They enforce the culture. They pass on the culture. We got to restore the House of Mothers. Man, I'm tired. Listen, family. The sisterhood needs to be restored. There needs to be wisdom also in the House of Mothers. There needs to be nurturing in the House of Mothers. We don't need grandmas twerking anymore, okay? We don't need grandmas and great aunts competing with younger women for these men. We need to restore the House of Mothers. Where are the mothers at? We're going to have some independent and some single women. That's cool. But where are the mothers at? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go to drink from and get sound wisdom and direction for their life? We have to restore the House of Mothers. The House of Youth. We got to bring that back, because the next generation ain't going to be voiceless no more. We got these youngsters. They're hungry. They're competitive. They got the energy. What are we doing with that? Are we telling them take a back seat? You know, not to bring up Africa, but look at what's going on with all these youngsters in Africa. They have the youngest population on the earth, and they're being locked out of positions. They're being locked out of jobs and employment to take care of their family. That's not us, family. If y'all, that's what these Pan-Africans they want you to join. They want you to join to a generation that locks out their youth from gain, from professional gain, from being useful and worthy. They rather use their youth as pawns, and then the elders, they just get to sit fat and Look at Africa. They haven't built nothing. And it's because they got a bunch of old folks gatekeeping the youth, destroying their own youth. It's no wonder they rioting and up over there. It's no wonder they no wonder their youth. You know who we're battling? You know who the biggest tethers are in Africa? Their youth. Because of course they want to latch on to foundational black American greatness, because they don't have any greatness to look back at home, because they old folks have locked them out. We can't do that to our youth, and we don't do that to our youth, and we shouldn't be doing that to our youth. We have to restore the house of youth. We have to restore that. We have to bring them up with us, not put them down. We have to teach them and educate them and bring them up with it. They have to sit at the table. They have to sit at the table with the house of elders. They have to sit at the table with the house of builders. They have to sit at the table with the house of mothers. And they also have a say-so in what's going to happen to them and their generation. We can't just always tell them this is how it's going to go, this is how it's going to be for perpetuity. We can't do that to the youth, because you see they have their own style. You see they have their own movement. They have their own music. They have their own language. We have to incorporate that into the Constitution, into the sovereign nation. We have to mold that. We have to help fine-tune their voice and not make them voiceless. We cannot say we cannot tell our children to just sit there and be silent. We have to give them a voice to also emote, to also express, to also explain. So we have to restore the house of the youth, family. Instead of putting them down. I'm not saying we don't correct them. But we got to find a way to uplift them, encourage them, as well as critique and correct them for the betterment of our community, for the betterment of our people, of our sovereign nation, and what we're trying to do in the future. How are we going to have that mentality where we're going to take back and take over if we don't have our youth? If our youth ain't strong, if our youth ain't prepared, if our youth ain't ready. Instead of putting them down, we have to bring them up. We have to they need a seat at the table. Our youth are ready. They're on fire. And our job is to give them guidance. Not control them, but to guide them. So how do we do that? We give them a seat at the table. They sit down and they watch how we do business. They watch how we do discussions, and then we include them in discussions and we ask them pertinent questions like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? If you had the opportunity to become a chief, to become a warrior, to become a builder, to become a mother, how would you do it? We got to ask those questions. And then when they make a mistake, we have to give them that constructive criticism. Not put them down to where they can't, where they get inferiority complexes, where they become traumatized. But we have to do it in a way that edifies them, that edifies us. Because remember, man, listen. We don't want our culture being erased. We don't want our people being reclassified again. The nation is thriving as the more youth. They say, like, people who've been to church, I understand. You know, if when you walk into a church and you see nothing but older generation, older people, and not enough youth, you know that is a unaliving church. That church is not gonna last long if it has nothing but old people in that church. You know the youth is the sign of a thriving church. The youth is the sign of a thriving nation. So we gotta find ways to include and uplift the youth and bring them also to the table. So they have to have a governance. The same way the House of Elders have a governance, the same way the House of Builders have a governance, the same way the House of Mothers have a governance, the House of Youth also needs a governance and a seat at the table. There needs to be a person that even the youth can go to, that's in their same age bracket, maybe a little bit older, but in their same era, that they can go to for guidance and direction. And we all got to sit at the table and build this nation. Now it's amazing. It's amazing to me. I'm looking at the people in the room. We got like 16 people in the room, and this is what I feel is most needed. And I remember talking to people saying, "Hey man, we're going to talk about this," and even the comments was like, "Yeah, we need this," and it's how many people show up. But I digress. That's cool. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna speak on it. I'm still gonna do my due diligence. I'm gonna put this up on the YouTube anyway for the YouTube family, and for it to be available to our people when they want to look back on this and see it. I'm also going to put this in a PDF file for people to have. Okay, I want my people to have this as something to look over, go over. Make changes, you know. I'm not perfect, you know, but this is kind of the mindset that I have for our people and for what we need to do. So yeah. So let's get into the matriarchal and the patriarchal orders. Okay, let me speak real on this. Okay, we fix what's broken in the black community. We fix what's broken in the black community, I feel, with this. Our women are elevated, not as competitors, but as legacy protectors. Our men are held accountable, not by the system, but by the people. I feel this, I feel like it's not matriarch over the patriarch. It's not patriarch over the matriarch. It's the patriarch and the matriarch working together. I did my best to be as fair as I can be to both systems, because we need them both. You know, we never, especially in the black community, we've never subjugated our women. Okay, our women have always had a place at the table with us. You know, I understand that the European patriarchal system, that's that system, y'all. That's not our system. That's not our system. We do have a patriarchy, though. It's not, we're not just matriarchal people, like people are just trying to push out and no. We had a system that honored both, and we got to go back to that. Even the Bible says, or the scripture says, honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days shall be long. Do you really understand what that scripture is saying? It's saying honor the matriarch and honor the patriarch, and your days will be long. We need both, family. It can't just be all patriarchy, and it can't just be all matriarchy. We don't want a bunch of weak, soft men, and we don't want a bunch of men dominating and subjugating women. I say this all the time. We don't want women Your power is in your voice, not in your physical strength. Your power and your dominance is in your voice. Do not use your voice to tear down your men, because if you do, you won't have a man. When it comes time for providing, when it comes time for protecting the things that you need, that this system has you believing you don't need a man for, which you do, you won't have that. And I tell men all the time, do not use your power against your women. A man's power is not necessarily in his voice. We have articulate men, but we have way more articulate women. But it's not just in the voice. A man's power is in his strength, in his ability to build, in his ability to destroy. A man can build with these hands, and a man can destroy with these hands. You understand? We are not to physically subjugate our women. That's not our job. Our job is to protect, our job is to provide, and our job is to make a plan, put structure in place. That's it. It's not to subjugate our women. Listen, if you're a man that's providing, if you're a man that is building something, that is protecting something, and you have a plan, I don't think women are going to have a problem with listening to you, with agreeing with what you got going on, because you have a plan. And women, you know, again, your words are powerful. Your words are life. You can breathe life into a situation, or you can take the energy out of the situation. You can destroy a man by your words. Men, you know, it's not ego. It's what am I looking for? You know, that encouraging words to a man makes him strong. It's confirmation that he's on the right path, and it makes him do more. You can build a man up with your words, or you can tear him down to where he's nothing. He's no more use for the world. The words of a woman are powerful to a man. A man needs your inspiration. A man draws inspiration from his woman. A man draws his inspiration, and he's able to make a plan because he's inspired. Men need inspiration to operate, and women, you can be the biggest inspiration to your man. All this, see, in this wicked system, we're going to have independent women. But in this new system, we're going to have interdependent men and women working together, building a nation, sovereign. We're going to take back the power that they stole from us, the energy that they stole from us. Remember the movie Sinners? That's what it was all about. They want our energy. They want to suck on and latch to the energy of foundational Black Americans. That's what they want. We have to take that back. I'm probably going to have to do part 1, part 2. I might have to break this thing into part 3 because I don't want to rush this thing. I want to kind of jump. I'm thinking maybe I should slow it down. What do y'all think? Am I moving too fast? Should I slow it down, or should I just keep going at the pace that I'm going? What do y'all think? Am I moving too fast with this? Should I slow it down? Should I stay here on the matriarchy and patriarch a little bit longer? Should I move on to the rites of passage? Because I don't want to rush this, and I also want to hear from the people. I know we got a person in the box that wants to jump in. I hope. Let me look at this. I block Sims. Okay, I hope it's not a troll. We gonna bring some people up. I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit, but I wanna also move around. Let me bring up some people and let's talk about this. What do y'all think about restoring the matriarchal and patriarchal orders within our lineage?
Oh, brother, I assure you that I'm not a troll.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay,
totally supportive of what you're talking about this morning. And
okay.
I brought this up to another live stream about having our own constitution and having our codes of ethics in our community. So
You
yes,
got to.
yes,
You
man,
got
this
to.
is this is what it's going to take, and we have to have voluntary acknowledgement on it, or you're out of it. You're seen as an enemy. You know, if you don't want to preserve our um, our people in this manner, we're this is the only way we're gonna succeed at it in the land that we're in. You know, so you're doing a great thing, my brother. It was something that you were saying that really got me about the 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 patriarchy and matriarchy. I think we do need to establish that, and
You got to.
and
You got
and
to.
that's the foundation. No, I think I just heard an activist say that no nation can survive with majority of its family dynamic in shambles. You just can't survive. You can't get a nation on track like that when 70% of its children are not being raised by their fathers. You can't. You just can't. You can't outlive that. You can't make it out of that. It's gonna always. It's gonna usher you into more destruction. And so yeah, we have to get that
Now,
reestablished. And
now let me ask you: are you a foundational Black American? Or do your roots from the United States? Do they go
yes,
back into this
yes,
world? Okay, okay.
yes.
Where's your family from?
LaGrange, Georgia.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's where my grandparents originate. You know, as far as I can go back, and then as far as my dad's, I mean my mother's family. Um, yeah, they were on a plantation in Tennessee. As far as I could go back to my lineage, you know.
Okay. Okay.
And so yeah, um,
Okay.
great topic, man. Great topic. I did a live stream last night while I was at work, and the topic I was saying, if you were voted governor of fixing the Black community, what would be your first order of business? That was the question. So this is right along those lines, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
This is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to, and I'm trying to get Blacks to think in terms of governance and stop thinking in terms of people helping you, and you use your own brain, your own mind, and your strength to climb your way out of your situation. Stop wanting people to help you. Stop. And I
Yeah.
keep hearing our people, well, the government ain't doing nothing for us. They would stop expecting that. Stop that shit. I just
Yeah. Listen, we got to
yeah.
do for ourselves, man. Listen, man. If one message that we've heard before that we ignored and didn't listen to, it was that one. Dr. Claude Anderson tried to tell us. Elijah Muhammad tried to tell us. Farrakhan's been saying this stuff. Malcolm X. It goes back. All of our great leaders been trying to tell us we have to do for ourselves and not depend on the government. And I'm here to tell you, anybody that tells us we got to go through this government to get what we want, that's not the person we need to be following.
Nah, I totally agree with you.
Ourselves. I'm not saying we don't get our we gonna get our reparations, but that's something that's old. That's something we're gonna stand on. But we don't need to be waiting for crumbs to fall from the sky. From
Yeah, we don't depend on that. No.
we gotta depend on ourselves. We have to build our own nation within this nation, because when this system falls, what's gonna happen to us? Those that are still plugged into this system.
Totally agree, brother. I was talking about every nation, every race, right? Large race of people on Earth, like except for us, has a nuclear arsenal. These people have a nuclear arsenal, and I'm trying to get Blacks to think in terms of global positioning of ourselves, not just in America, but just the Black race, and to get us to think more strategic and more self-reliant. instead of depending on others for our safety, depending on others for our food. I mean, it's right here in my community, right? I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the crime and the lack of accountability in our community. They've shut down grocery stores in the Black community to where now people have to travel at least 5 miles to get to a grocery store. At least that's I travel outside the Black community, because when the grocery stores were in the Black community, theft and inventory was so bad that the stores couldn't survive. So they shut down the grocery stores. One grocery store that Walmart opened up didn't last 5 years. And the old people and the younger generation who has no regard for the elderly and the travel expenses and the having to go outside the community for medicine and things, they had no regard for the business thriving inside the community that was aiding and benefiting the elderly. Walmart came, shut the place down, which I thought it was a great idea for Walmart to put the place there to aid elderly people. And nobody cares. The Black church don't care, nothing. Now they have to travel 5 and 7 miles to get what they need. And guys, we look at what we're doing to ourselves. We don't even have food. We're relying on other people for food.
That's crazy.
We can't even keep a grocery store in our community.
So what do you think the problem is with theft and going on? Is that are you saying that's coming from the youth?
Yeah, the youth, and I witnessed it. My wife.
What do you think the breakdown is that our youth are stealing from our own stores?
Yes, family. The breakdown in family. That's it. Big time. No fathers in the home. We have to get that foundational family back on track and get these kids up under father tutelage, and we can.
I think I want to agree with that, but I also want to expand on. I want you to think about this too. Okay. One thing that destroyed our community was that mindset: do as I say, not as I do. I think it's bigger than just not having. I think father in the home is the correct path, but I think it's also the example in the home.
Too much. I do agree with that. I think majority of that came from single parent homes, because I got that from I never got that from the males in my family. I always got it from the female.
Yo, Too Much. You spoke on that yesterday, man. When you brought that up, that was very powerful to me. I've heard it from most of the males and around me. Like that was the older growing up, that's all they live by that. They just
don't do what I did, youngster. You be better than me.
Yeah, but they
don't do like me, and they be tipping, sipping, and drinking.
Yep. No action behind they talk.
We learn. Listen. I'm gonna tell you how children learn. A lot of things are caught, not taught. This is what my dad tell me. Most things are caught, not taught. And I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, when I say most things are caught, not taught, when you take your kids to work with you, that not only do they hear you talk about what needs to be done and how you should do things, but you also show them what needs to be done and how to do it, and they catch it more quicker because they understand. See, it's not just about doing the work; it's getting the understanding of what it is that you're doing, and how you're going to get the understanding of that by being around it.
And that's just not kids though. That's me too as a grown man.
That's everybody. But kids have a very impressionable age. So there's this young kid that's a producer. He's like 7 years old, and he knows how to run the most complex sounds and plays the guitar and plays the piano. He caught that. You see the difference? Somebody who learned how to play these instruments opposed to somebody who caught it because he grew up around it. It's like that kid that plays the drum at the church who can play the piano, who can sing. He caught it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in him. Because he's at that impressionable age where he picks up and he learns things at the speed of instruction. When you're older, it's more difficult because you have it's like you have all this excess information, but these kids are empty. They have nothing in them. All they have is what you teach them and what you show them, and they catch it more quickly. They catch languages more quickly than older people.
Hey, too, let me tell you this, man. Last night I was telling you about my live, right? I had different people coming up, different blacks coming up saying what they would do, first order business. One along the lines of what y'all are talking about. He said he would bag the child labor age up to 12. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I say these boys need to be working. Yeah. And you look at how that would benefit us. You know, if these boys can get out here and play and do all this stuff, and they're 12 years old, up and down the street with pew-pews, if they can do that, damn it, you can get your ass to work.
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you right there. I don't disagree with that. You know, I think we play too much. I think we give our kids too long of a space to be kids.
Yep, I do.
I think we do need to have a rite of passage for our children that says you have graduated from this adolescence and now you're here and now you need to function like this. I think especially in the black community, I don't think we have time to be playing games.
Man, I totally agree with you, bro. This is a great live. Great topic.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way we're gonna catch up and overtake the dominant society, because they done slowed down. Their birth rates is dropping. They done slowed down. Okay, while we are in this sweet spot where they're slowed down, where we're in this sweet spot where nobody's bothering us and they're worried about everybody else, immigrants, everybody else but us. This is the time where we need to battle down dig in deep and get ourselves up out of this deficit, up out of this hole that we've been in.
Yeah, I agree with y'all brothers as well, and that'll just bring us back to how we started as far as tilling our own land.
Yeah.
If you bring up the young brothers, and whether you in construction or whatever, I mean, you could start at 18 years old. Hey, you sweep up the spot and just start from there. I think we could that helps build a community. And when we have our own communities, and you take the 12-year-old boys, and maybe it's just picking up the litter, just start there, and that's what build value. That stealing and theft that you were talking about in the stores and stuff earlier. The reason why a lot of that happened is because there's no connection to the community. It's a lot different when you're like, hey, that's Papa John, or that's Auntie Merle's spot, and when you have that sense of connection, like, no, we ain't gonna do that. It's always somebody gonna speak up and like, nah, we ain't taking from her. We gonna respect her, and that's what we're missing. It's simply because there is no connection.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment.
That example. We got to bring back that example to the community. So I like the idea at 12, and this is one of the reasons why I support Trump and getting rid of all these illegal immigrants. Because look at the McDonald's. Look at the places where kids used to get part-time jobs at, right? They don't have that access anymore to part-time jobs anymore because there's so many grown folks working at McDonald's. Grown folks working at all these other places that are boxing out, that are keeping our children. Hold on, man. You got a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Right? That are keeping our children from getting part-time jobs. We got to bring back, and look, I was in Fullerton. I'm in California. I was in Fullerton the other day. And one of my best friends got married. They got married at the Boys and Girls Club, the community center. I looked at Fullerton's community center opposed to the community center we got back in the neighborhoods where I'm from. It's like night and day. when they take away the community centers and the boys and girls clubs in black neighborhoods, I think that harms us as well, because now our kids don't have an outlet. Now they don't have any structure, anything to do over the summertime, anything to keep them busy. Kids should not be idle. I think that's part of it too. When you have a bunch of idle kids walking around, that's a sign of trouble. I think when you have idle men, that's a sign of trouble.
Facts.
Yeah,
So
I just wanted to comment on what iBlock said earlier about we don't have a black nation that has a nuclear arsenal. And the reason why I wanted to comment on that, I strongly agree. I made that point on a live before, on a different live, and people just went crazy. And basically, what I was saying is, as a collective, the only reason why BLK people are not, well, basically, BLK people are at the mercy of the morality of other races. And I was saying that's the only thing that's keeping history from repeating itself. Because there's not a single black nation that can defend us as black people, as a collective. Say, for example, they wanted to go back to the old system of enslavement. We literally could not resist because we don't have all the
that's
arsenals. We
not
don't.
true. That's not true. That's not true. I don't
Okay,
believe that.
okay.
No, let me tell you. First of all, that system of slavery is not beneficial anymore. It may have been
Exactly.
beneficial back then, but it's not beneficial now.
That's the
And
point that I was
in the
making.
mindset of the people today, we're not going back. Especially, and I'm speaking only specifically for my lineage, foundational Black America. I know us. I know us. I don't know. I can't speak
I
for
don't
what's
think
going
that's the
on over
point he
in
was making,
Africa
though.
or
I don't think that's.
what's going on there in Haiti. I hear what you're saying, but I know us, and we as Americans, we're not doing that. We're going to resist that in every which way possible that we can. And we also
I,
know that the dominant society right now, they're not going to allow. They know better than to allow us something like that. And I'm not saying that's not something that we need to have. We need to have some type of military training and military skills. All men, all women in foundational Black American communities. We need to have some type of structure like that to defend ourselves and things like that. I mean, we can, as long as we can still have the Second Amendment, we're gonna make sure we're gonna take care of ourselves. We're
yeah,
gonna
I
make
mean, the
sure.
point that I was making is, as a people, in general, we are very vulnerable, and we're the most vulnerable on this planet. Nobody can go to Asia and say that they're gonna dominate Asia in a certain way. China has something to say about that. Just as a race in general, we really have no defense. I'm not talking about my people, Haitians in particular. I'm talking about black people in general. We still very
Yeah,
vulnerable.
but this live is more geared toward FBA. I
Yeah,
hear
I mean,
what you're saying.
trust me,
I hear
I
what
didn't
you're
come
saying.
to go back and forth. I just wanted to comment on what that brother said earlier. I wanted to say I
I
agree
got
with
you,
that
brother. I
because
got
that's
you,
my
brother.
first time hearing that from someone else.
But this conversation is more deal for. I mean, you guys got to deal with your community. We got to deal with ours. This is
Yeah,
that conversation.
too much. I'm not here advocating for my people or whatever because I know it's an FBA live. I just wanted to comment because he said something about the collective. He said, as black people, there's no black nation that has a nuclear arsenal. That's what I want. I wanted to agree with that. That's the only reason why I'm on here.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I agree. We don't, and they're not going to allow us to. They're not going to allow any black nation, any melanated nation, to have that. We understand that, but that don't mean we can't thrive. Listen, this system. I'm gonna keep it on. This system is failing, and it's failing fast. It's failing fast. The
yeah,
Bible, even the scripture says, "The meek shall inherit the earth." We are the meek. We are the patient. We have the dominant gene.
think about this
This
too much
this
before
this
I
this
drop.
this gene is gonna dominate the earth in due
Think about
time.
this. Before I drop, last thing I wanted to say. You made a comment earlier about you're glad we have Donald Trump because he's keeping the illegals out or he's kicking them out and stuff like that, right? My whole thing with that, I still feel like black people in general not looking at the bigger picture, because the more he's trying to squeeze Africa, he's putting all these restrictions on them, not allowing their students to come on a student visa. What he's really doing is he's restricting the knowledge transfer. Basically, that's what he's doing. He's restricting the transfer of knowledge. If you're limiting the amount of students and all of that,
Do
so
you know
those
what the
countries will
African
never
Union
be
is
able
trying
to
to do?
develop.
Hold on, sir. Do you know what the African Union is trying to do to Black Americans right now? You know the
No,
African
I
Union is trying to have a say so over when we get reparations and what to do with that money and how that money needs to go get funneled back to Africa. Our reparations need to get. Do you know what the African Union is doing right now? See, again, that's that Trojan horse.
too
See,
much.
it
It
would have
will.
been cool. No, listen, brother, listen. It would have been cool if y'all would have came over here and y'all would have joined with us. But y'all wanted to build enclaves. Y'all didn't want to build bridges when y'all got here. Y'all wanted to protect your people. Y'all didn't look at us like all people. We tried that looking at everybody black like all people. We tried that we're one big Negro. We need to stand and we pushed Pan-Africanism more than y'all pushed Pan-Africanism. Y'all didn't come over here and do that. So as we see, we're where we're at now. And we realize that we can't have no African influence. We can't have no Caribbean influence. This is our stuff. This is our culture. We built up something great here. Because y'all didn't build it over there, that's not our problem.
Hey, too much. I want to point out something. Like the way the whole conversation went. Here we are. We talking about FBA, and this is why it's important
They try to crowbar themselves into our conversations.
they get in the conversation, and you see how it immediately we back in Africa right now. Right now, we trying to unify right here, and that's why what you said about what Trump is doing. That's why it's important. It's important that he continues to do what he's doing. It's only going to help us unify, and that's the main problem right there. They try to crowbar their way, and they get our attention to where we lost, and we don't know who self is, and that's the difference right now. We gaining that back, and we getting to know self. We don't need people sending us back to Africa when we dealing with what we're dealing with right here. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
me
just telling you,
personally,
brother, don't let them distract you. What you was
Right,
talking about, like our whole conversation,
right.
it just changed, and I
nah, I mean,
came up here to
trust me,
commend you. Like,
I
hey,
want
I'm
FBAs
tired
to
of the
win.
diaspora wars or whatever, and we don't even need to focus on that. Like, let's focus on
Yeah,
us.
This is the best thing you can do, sir. Y'all need to go. Y'all need to get all the Haitians together and start unifying them. Start having talk like we're having talks with FBA. Y'all need to have talks with your lineage. And Africa needs to do the same thing. You can't help us, and we can't help you if we don't have a unified front and we don't have a system that is working and thriving. Focus on building a system that is working and thriving in your community. And then when we come together, because that will happen eventually, we're going to come together in the form of a treaty and nothing more. If it's not done in treaty, if it's not written down, if it's not global, we don't want it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want these half unities that y'all trying to give us. Let's join together, and then it's gonna crumble anyway because y'all gonna undermine it and change the direction of what. No, y'all focus on what y'all need to focus on, and allow us as foundational Black Americans to focus on what we need to focus on, and that's it. That's all you got to do. You don't got to come in here and tell us what we need to be doing, what we need to be focused on. Go tell your people that.
yeah. I mean, I think first of all, I didn't do that. All I said was, all I said was, to me personally, I don't see how Trump trying to restrict the transfer of knowledge from here to Africa benefit any black person anywhere.
It does. It benefits
Keeping
foundational
Africa the
Black
way that it is.
Americans. It benefits foundational Black Americans because a lot of y'all come over here and y'all take the scholarships that are for foundational Black Americans. Y'all are taking resources that are for foundational Black Americans. Y'all start off living in our communities. Let's keep that a buck, and then y'all move to then y'all start building Little Africa. That does not benefit foundational Black Americans. Little Hades don't benefit foundational Black Americans. Y'all don't pour back into our community. Y'all extract from
Yeah.
our community.
I mean, even
That doesn't help. We pour more into your community. We go to the Haitian restaurants
I'll give you an
and the
example.
bodegas and the Caribbean we patron those businesses more than you guys patron our business. So
I'll give you an
what we're saying
example.
is that doesn't benefit the exchange of knowledge that you're talking about doesn't benefit us. They need to build universities in Africa that are just as exemplary as universities here in America, and the same so forth in Haiti. Y'all need to stand on business and
Too
fight
much.
off the oppressor, just like we have done and we continue to do in our own country. That's what you
Too
guys
much.
need to do, sir.
Yeah, but too much. Here's what you also got to look at. The Europeans benefited from knowledge around the world. The Asians have as well. How many Chinese come here and learn and go back and help develop China? Same thing
I
goes for
got you, but
Japan.
it's a one-way street. It's not. What I'm saying is, yes, China benefits from coming over here. Africa benefits from coming over here, but we don't. What benefit do we get? We don't get none of that benefit. We're not
What
traveling
I'm
over to
saying is,
Europe to go to university. Everybody from Europe is traveling over here to go to
yeah,
university.
yeah,
Everybody is
but
traveling. This is listen. If this was Egypt back in the day, this will be the modern day Egypt today. This is where all the information, all the culture, all the inventions, all the everything is coming from America. All the innovation is coming out of here, and everybody's stealing some of that and benefiting
too
that in the
much. I
homeland.
think
So that's what. So
before
it doesn't benefit us, sir. It doesn't
I'm
benefit.
gonna drop, but I think
Doesn't
that's a
benefit us.
narrow way of looking at it,
You
because
would.
a lot of the talents around the world come here and contribute. I mean, you have America has benefited from all countries around the world. So,
I got
this
you.
whole thing where
That's true. That's true. Now that is true. We have been that's one of the strategies of colonialism. They're going to take your best and your brightest and make them assimilate to our
the
culture
way
and our
the way
mindset.
that
So
human
that's
beings,
actually harmful. Hold on. As much as you think it's beneficial, yeah, it's beneficial to America, but it's not beneficial to Africa to take the brightest of Africa and have them over here working in America. It's not beneficial to Haiti to have the brightest in Haiti coming over here working in America. The moment y'all get over here, y'all do not go back and build up your homeland. That's the issue, and that's the
man,
problem. So y'all need to learn how to get some information and go build up your homeland. That's what you're not doing. You're getting some information and you're getting, you know what? I love it here better. I love it here better, so I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna become an American citizen and I'm gonna assimilate. And well, I don't know if y'all assimilate really, but y'all try to impose your culture into a culture that's already here, and that's wrong. So I gotta drop you, brother. We gotta move on. Thank you for coming up. You're welcome anytime. But today we're talking about foundational Black America.
Hey, too, before I drop too, man, I want to apologize. I didn't mean to take the conversation that way. I'm on y'all. I'm on the side of FBA, and I was just stating, uh, for us here in America, if we're going to be a nation within a nation, just I just things in terms of protecting our interests, and
No,
I
no,
think you
no, no.
brought up.
That's valid for us. He just
Mm,
took that as a way for him to inject his belief, and that's what they always try to do. They try to
yeah,
inject themselves. They see themselves through our eyes, and we got to realize that.
right, right.
They,
I'm
they,
totally on board with
they're
Trump
here in
too.
this country. They may be African, they may be Caribbean, but they think they're us.
Right? They really don't look at us the same way as we look at ourselves. They don't see a connection with us. They don't.
No,
We do.
they want to replace. They see them as our replacement. They think as good as they get in with white daddy, that white daddy's gonna love them more than us. And we're like, we don't want white daddy's love. We don't want none of that. We just want to be left alone and build our people. They want to, they want to latch on and be the new Negroes.
Right. You're exactly right. I briefly talked with a Jamaican woman, and she didn't share. They just had not been where we've been with this country. They don't share the history that we have with this country, and so they don't understand the urgency that we have, and they try to act like, well, y'all are the victims and we're not. We don't have that. I said, well, it's evident because you don't share in the same history. It'd be different if you came across here and you looked at the history and you felt a sense of sadness or urgency because, hey, we look alike, and this very well could have happened to you.
I block. They don't care.
They don't. I know they don't. They don't care.
If you listen to that brother just talk, everything he taught, it was. But they benefit. Everybody benefit. He didn't say one way that foundational Black Americans benefit.
That's the problem.
The Chinese
benefit from that.
Yeah, we don't get nothing.
Right.
And they're okay with us. They're okay with us not getting anything in the deal, and they want us to be okay with that. They want us to be so good-hearted that we let everybody come and eat off of us, and there's no benefit to us. That's what they want us to do.
But you know what? It's evident. That's how they do Africa, right? Everybody gets to come in and take everything, and they get nothing from it. How is every nation coming into Africa to take the resources and everything, but Africa still doesn't have anything?
Because they over here worried about us.
Yeah, they need to build. I said, as big as that continent is, not one damn aircraft carrier, not one damn nuclear submarine, and y'all have all the resources, but you cannot forge a goddamn ship out of that land that's seaworthy. I'm on the side of Mr. Manning out there in Harlem. He brought that up. How can that nation be so damn big and you can't even create one ship that's seaworthy? I'm on board with it. They need to shut the F up.
And let's be real, they're the ones that are making melanated people around the world look bad.
Yes.
The first thing white supremacists do is they try to say, well, look at Africa. How come y'all ain't building? And we have to explain to them, I'm not African. You see what foundational Black Americans have built. We're not them. But they keep want to latch them onto us because their biggest issue and their biggest problem is they haven't built anything. So they keep want to throw that in foundational Black American faces. And that's one of the reasons why we have to delineate and separate, because their failure is not our failure.
Right.
We're not them. They need to learn from us instead of come over here and talk about they need to tell us how to be. Man, you don't need to tell us how to be Black. You don't have the franchise on Blackness because you come from Africa. You can't Africanize all people.
It's amazing. No. You got Akon going over there in Senegal, and he's the one putting solar power through the whole nation. He has to, and nobody over there could think.
Man, let me tell you something. I talked to Akon. I was working on a 300 megawatt data center, and I got in contact with Akon's people. And Akon's people told me not to build it over there. And you know what? He still hasn't built it over there. That Akon city, he still hasn't built it over there. And you know why that is? Because of the
bureaucracy,
and all the red tape and all the milk money that these foreign leaders want. He told me, man, build it in the U.S. Don't build it over here. It's not. It's what would normally take 3 to 6 months. It's going to take 10, 20, 30 years. That's what he told me.
I believe it. There's a bribery culture over there. Everything's corrupt.
That's why they want to plug into our system, because our system has integrity. Their system doesn't.
Right.
That's why all nations benefit off the American economy, because there's integrity built into it. And that's why I love the blockchain so much. because the blockchain has integrity built into it. That's the biggest thing an economy needs to run efficiently is integrity. Without it, you can't really have a business. You can't really have a trade. That's why their business and trade is failing over there, because there's no integrity built in.
Man, tell it. You got listen. You got Foundation of Black Americans wanting to move back from Ghana because of that.
I know, yeah.
They're moving to Ghana thinking they're the grass is greener, and within 30 days they're regretting it.
There's no integrity built in that system over there for their economy. The only thing you can have over there is a mom and pop store, and that's as big as you're ever gonna get, is a street hustler. That's as big as your economy as your business is going to get over there, because there's no integrity built in. Unless you got money to be paying off this person and that person, because that's what you're always going to have to do over there. You're not going to have anything pliable over there as far as business. It's just not going to happen. I agree
with you. No integrity, brother.
No integrity. And again, that's another thing. West Africa, Nigeria, they're kicking Nigerians out in Ghana. They're kicking Nigerians out in every country that they go to because they don't have integrity. They keep bringing their scam mentality, their scam degrees, their scamming ways everywhere they go. And they got the nerve to come here and act like they the most educated black people in America. They got the nerve to think that they up there with Asians and all this other. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't want to get too far off the beaten path, because I want to stay on I want to stay on what we're talking about. But I thought what was good to investigate is why are our children looting black stores that are owned by Foundational Black Americans. That should not be happening. That is definitely a family breakdown. That's definitely a breakdown in the family dynamics, and we need to fix that. That's definitely something we need to restore between the elders and the youth. We have to restore that relationship back, because KRS-One said this. I got this from KRS-One. I don't know who he got it from, but it's true. Old people need to listen to young people, and they will run faster amongst older people. Young people need to listen to older people, and they will run faster amongst younger people.
Farther.
We need both. The exchange of information and wisdom is going to benefit both of us. The young is going to keep the old current, and the old is going to keep the young on
wise. Yeah.
Too much. I depend on my children for all this new stuff coming in. This TikTok, hey, what's going on with that? Hey, how I operate that? Teach me how to do that, so I know exactly what he was talking about.
Put AI into your children's hands early, and watch what they listen. Imagine what we got with AI right now. Imagine what our children's children are going to be doing with that thing, man.
Exactly.
Remember, see, some of us were born in the 80s, and we remember back when computers first got introduced in the classroom.
Yep.
And our parents didn't know what was going on. What was going on? We were with the DOS. We had MS-DOS, and we were just typing away, playing these little number crunching games and Oregon Trail, and then we were just doing stuff with this software. Now look at it. I still remember when we had the pager, and then it went from the pager to the two-way. Then we had the brick phone. The brick phone went to the more compatible phone, and then now we could text on our phone. Yeah. That was the biggest game changer right there. Being able to text from your phone.
Yeah, just talking, being able to look at someone. I didn't think that was gonna happen during my time.
Man,
I think everything that they talked about when we were younger, I think it all came it's everything except flying cars.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. I was watching RoboCop the other day, man. I said, "Damn it, we about to have RoboCops."
Yeah,
and that's just another reason why Foundation of Black Americans, we got to get ourselves together now. We got to be proactive not reactive to what they're going to try to do to us.
Yeah, I block. He's showing off his page.
I see it. It wasn't just the doctor that had them pages, boy. We had them in the hood, boy. We all thought we was trapping back then. Like, oh, hold on, man. My mama just paid me. I gotta go make a phone call.
Yeah, I used to have mine on alarm. My alarm.
Hold on, man. My girl, hold on, let me, we thought we was players with them pages, boy. We thought we was what? Everybody was important when we had a pager, boy. You wasn't important if you not know. When we had their pages in high school, y'all, we was like, yeah.
And they put 304 in there. You like, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
Turn
you
it
know what
upside
304
down.
got.
Yes, indeed. We know that's where the term 304 came from.
Yeah, that came
Absolutely.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
But can I want to give my answer to the theft issue, and then I gotta go down.
Okay.
I gotta get off the panel for a minute. But so I think it's the lack of it's scarcity and the mindset of lack, and the opportunity. A lot of missed opportunity as well. And then the misunderstanding of take what you want. Like that phrase really confused a lot of people. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that, you know what I mean? Like we could discuss it a little more. I'll give you in the comments discussing it, but that's what I think it is. A scarcity mindset, and lack, of course, and then the missed opportunities and the misunderstanding of those phrases that we used, for motivation. Some people just
This is what I think it is with the youth as well. Okay, every family needs to have an established budget, and you need to include your kids in that budget, and you got to reinstate. What do they call those things when you give your children some money? What are they? Allowances. You got to include allowances for your children, just like men and women have allowances for themselves and for the things that they want and need. Y'all got to make sure y'all some of them school clothes that's part of allowance. You got to include your kids in your financial budget. They need to have a little something in their pocket. They can't be walking out here broke. They need to understand that I need to work. I need to do this and this. I need to clean up my room and do this and this and that. And I got a little bit of money coming from my parents. And a reward system. We got to bring that back into our homes because that helps teach and train our children in the way that they should go. And it keeps them off the street and doing all this other silly stuff when they got a little bit of change in their pocket. And then you need to take away that allowance when they don't do the things that they're supposed to do.
real quick. If allowances are not in the budget or with these kids anymore, it's because they're getting $300 jackets and $1,000 sneakers.
No, we can't do
stuff
that.
like that.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. No. Listen, that's why I said include your kids. When you sit down at the table, let your kids see your finances, so they know, hey, this is why dad or mom may not have the money. But you need to be teaching your kids. Listen, kids learn how to budget from the parents. They learn how to overspend from watching how the parents spend their money.
Yep, and that's why you can combine the two of what y'all just said. So you get a $300 jacket, and okay, it's nothing but beans coming in here for you. All right, your lights off in your room.
Exactly. Yep. Make them feel the pain along with everybody else. Instead of keeping your children away from the pain, pain is a good teacher.
Yep, let them learn. Yep, you spend your money on that's fine, but there's a consequence if you do that.
Exactly. And let them know that you might have to do some extra work if you want a little bit of more money. If you want a little bit of more allowance, you might have to do something extra because that's the way life is. There's nothing for free out here. Raise the kid, train the kid, prepare the kids for, one of the best things my dad, man, I swear to God, I didn't realize how good. I hated my dad. I'll be honest, I hated my dad growing up. But now that I'm an adult, I mean, I look back and I'm so thankful how my dad raised me. Okay, listen, my dad was that dad that he's not gonna give you the answer. He's gonna make you figure it out on your own. He's not gonna give you anything. He's gonna make you work for it. I was so far ahead of all my peers and all my friends. Listen, when I turned 18, I was already out the house, moved in, had my own apartment and everything. And that was because my dad raised me to be self-sufficient. Now, did I like it growing up because I didn't have all the school clothes that everybody had? Shoot, I had to do, if I'm being honest, I did runouts so I can get school clothes because I didn't want to get clowned at school, y'all. And I was the most popular kid in my school. I had to do runouts because my dad was not trying to buy me all that stuff. I did not want to get that's one thing I love about, see, I was raised by a single father, but that's one thing I love about having a mother in the home, because the mother's gonna say, don't send your child to school like that. Don't have my baby looking like. Now that mother's gonna make sure you got some school clothes and you looking right and you dressed right. Because I saw all my friends who grew up with mothers who had $300 jackets, $200 sneakers. They were looking fly.
But you know what, too? I seen that too, and I grew up kind of like you, what you did. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, and we had a
Nope.
good house, we had a nice home and everything. But I didn't grow up like that. I was raised by some you know grandparents who came through the Depression, so I had a whole different upbringing.
Well,
And
see, my
so
dad was born in 1942, so you can only imagine how old school my dad was.
right, right, and so you know, the thing is, man, they wasn't materialistic. I had 5 outfits that I had to wear to school, and and the kids could tell what day it was by the outfit that I wore.
That was
And
my
you wore that,
Jordan. That was
you
my
wore that
Jordan.
last Wednesday. You wore that last Wednesday. And
That
so
was
you know
my
the thing,
junior high. When
right?
I got to high school, I said, no, no, no. They not about to clown me up in here. No,
But
no, no,
but
no,
that's the
no.
thing, right? But how do we get our people? Because it seems like that is so prevalent amongst us that we clown each other for economic disadvantages. Why do we as black people, why do we do that to each other? The psychology of it. And I think that was a thing that when I asked that question, like, what's the first order of business? A gentleman came on. He said he would go well, he would attack in a good way the mindset of our people. And I totally agree with him. He said we got to get them to be good human beings. And that's if we're not encouraging to be good human beings, anything we're trying to build, just like you said, the lack of integrity and things of that nature, if we're not promoting just decency and good moral behavior, anything we try to build it's not going to stand. It's just you got to have majority people uh, on board with the moral code. If we don't have any, moral fabric about us, it's nothing we build is going to stand.
I agree. I agree 100%, man.
Now we clown each other, man. I've been clowned, and the very kids that clown me, they still on crack today.
You said,
They still on crack today. 2025, I'm 50 years old. These brothers still on crack.
well,
They
here's what I
grew
will
up in
say.
single mother household. I had a Maryland household. I had a grandfather. They didn't have no man in the house. Yet they was clowning me. I went to church every Sunday. I got a good upbringing, and I thought I was getting cheated out because I wouldn't like them, and their mama let them do whatever they want to do. That's teenager thinking, right? But once
That's
we
true.
grow up, then once we get out of high school, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when you start seeing the deterioration of their upbringing and the encouragement of your upbringing. It's getting out of school. That's when the bullshit stops. So you can play that bullshit because the government paying for your education and demanding that you go to school. But now you out, you ain't got nobody else to check at no more. You ain't got nobody else to talk about and crack on anymore. Now you got to look at yourself like, well, what I'm gonna do now? I spent all school joking at block and joking on two and everything. Now what I'm gonna do? And
but we
them brothers
also
are
have
in
to,
prison right now.
but we also have to look at the benefits of it too, and there are benefits of the dozens and the clownings and things like that. We all heard that saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." That benefited us and that hurt us, but there also was a benefit of that because it made us stronger. I remember I remember when I grew up. Let me say it. I grew up. My dad was military, so we moved around a lot, and then we finally got stationed here in California. And finding friends was I won't say difficult, but in the beginning it was difficult. It became much more easier as we got settled, but it was difficult in the beginning. And one of the things that helped me become mentally tough, as not just from the upbringing of my dad, was from people kicking jokes. I had to learn how to fire back and take care of myself. I had to learn how to, hey, not just accept these kids, talking mess and laugh at me. I'm gonna kick some jokes and you gonna laugh back. Now in the beginning, yeah, I got cracked on and I didn't have no words to say back. But as I got immersed more in black in our culture and saw how it was beneficial for us, because again, you gonna get called names out when you go out into the real world. They're gonna call you the M word, and a lot of us need to stop getting emotional off that word.
I
You
get
should,
called the N
you
word by
should
my
not
people more than
you
anybody.
should not be getting, yeah, but it's different when our people do it than when other communities do it. They put that hard ER on it, and they got that energy behind it, and we use it and we take the energy out of that word. You know what I'm saying? They use it and they put the energy on that word, which affects us. That's what we call spells, right? Spells
It
are
don't
really
bother me at all. A
spells are
white T
nothing
person
more.
calling me the N word don't bother me at all.
Yeah,
That is nowhere with me.
and guess what, y'all? It shouldn't. We should not be getting emotional behind that N word.
I
That
get
word,
more messed
that
up when a
word,
black
that
person
word
calls me that.
should roll off your back like water on a duck. It's just like, so what? And next.
I get messed up when my own people call me that. It's
Yeah,
worse. It hurts worse when they do it.
and we should. We really need that word anymore? Not really. Not really. It's not beneficial to us. But to each his own. To each his own.
Somebody's snoring, man. What's going on?
Crypto,
I was I
crypto,
was trying to figure out who it was.
Man, we have
crypto.
crypto. His mic is muted. His mic is muted.
Yo, what's good, bro?
You all right, man? We're just trying to find out who's snoring, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean wasn't calling you out. Just
No,
we got a
I had my
snoring
mic off.
candidate.
That's Turner time down there.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Turn the
Sorry,
time in
bro.
here, brother. Turn the time.
Turn the time.
Man, we didn't. It happens.
Turn.
Man. People fall asleep up here, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and drop this brother down. He'll wake up. If you want to request back up, he'll wake up. We probably took too long to get to him, but yeah, man. It's there's pros and cons, but one of the things we're able to do, like I said,
I'm gonna give you a little
comedy,
pushback on that
stand up,
journaling
stand up
and stuff.
comedy.
I don't agree with all that.
Here's what we done with it. Stand up comedy is something that we invented. Y'all know that, right? We invented the stand up comedy came from us playing the dozens. We would not have stand up comedy today if it wasn't for foundational Black America. The comedy that we all love and enjoy today, that came out of foundational Black American culture. That came by us playing the dozens and roasting each other. The roast, that whole term, the roast, that comes from us.
Roasting
So yeah,
Jones and all of that. I look that as for me, that's part of the culture, and
yeah, that's part of the
I,
culture.
I like that about our culture. Like that's
And that makes us mentally stronger. That believe it or not, that makes you listen. I got bagged on. I got roasted, especially when this brother's talking about the out. They knew when I was gonna wear the same outfit on. I had this yellow outfit, man. This yellow what cross. It was cross. Remember, it was cross colors, right? So I had this
cross.
yellow outfit that was cross colored, and that was probably my best outfit that I had. Okay, my best. Every Wednesday, I would wear that outfit, and everybody knew. Oh, he's gonna wear the outfit again today. And I had my XJ900s from Payless that used to lean to the side. They clamped me up out of that. By the time I got to high school, man, I was so fresh and so clean, man. The hair was done right. The hygiene was good. If you musty, they gonna clown you. So you made sure you had deodorant on. You made sure you brushed your head and got the waves. I was fresh to death when I got to high school, but I suffered in junior high school. I ain't gonna lie, I suffered.
Yeah, but you look at this like, okay, that's me and you are one of those people, right? But yet there were probably 10 more kids that didn't make it who were doing the cracking, who were doing the jonesing on us, right? So did it really, okay, it benefited me and you, but what happened to them? I can name Tracy, uh, uh, Clarence, all the guys that were doing it. They're in prison. That's one of you and 10 of them. So did it really benefit us?
I think there's a difference between bullies doing it and normal everyday Black Americans just roasting each other. Because I roast my friend. You know, when I get with my brothers, man, that's what we do, man. We gonna look, brother.
Back then we talk about each other, mamas and stuff.
I'm the biggest I've ever been I'm the biggest I've ever been. Right, I'm eating good. Got a wife, married. I'm eating good, man. And my friends roast me. And now I even see Tethered in the comment trying to roast. So guess what I'm doing now? I'm like, man, I'm gonna get my health back on track. I'm gonna get my weight back. I'm gonna get my muscles back. I mean, that's what we do to get people right. If you're looking off, if you're off, and you come around your real ones, your real friends, they're gonna let you know. They may crack a joke on doing it. They might say, "Hey, man, you gotta do this." Like I tell people right now, man, if you are I don't care what age you are, because of the things that they put in our food. I don't care if you're 16 years old. You need to be taking testosterone pills because they put a lot of estrogen in the food.
And I strongly disagree with that.
It's going to benefit.
Stop eating food that they putting estrogen in. Just stay away from it.
Here's the problem. What they put it in your chicken. They put it in your steak. What don't they put it in? That's the part. That's what you don't understand. And I'm just going to say, do your research on that.
I do my I'm up on what's going on, but that's what you gotta see. What you trying to do is you trying to say I need steak, I need my chicken. You got to be able to say, hey, I'm out.
Listen, I was a vegan for 5 years, y'all. I was a vegan for 5 years. It wasn't until I went to Africa that I came back not a vegan anymore. I started eating that food, that unprocessed meat over there, and the fresh goat. And man, when I came back, I was like, man, I want meat. Okay, and that's
I'm a meat eater too. Don't get me wrong.
That's my fault.
You gotta find.
I was a vegan for 5 years, and I was I was super skinny too, boy. People thought, man, I was skinny being a vegan, man. So when I started eating meat and getting my weight back, and it started looking a little bit better on me, I was like, yeah, that's what. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm just saying, listen, there's pros and cons to roasting. There's pros and cons to roasting, but everything is for the making of you, not the breaking of you. That's what I'm going to say. Everything is to build you up and make you stronger, not weaker. And if you look at it that way,
I got a young lady that I was sort of mentoring, and she was, when I walked in the room, she was crying. I said, "What are you crying for?" And I thought it was something serious with her family. She broke off and said, "I posted this thing on Instagram and I made a comment and everybody just calling me ugly, and she's not ugly, not at all. And she said, she calling me ugly and I didn't mean it like that. Blah, blah, blah." I'm just saying that I think that everybody is not like me and you and ready for that type of I think, like you said, it has pros and cons. I think when it does damage, it does a lot of damage.
You know what does a lot of damage too, though, and some of that's needed. Participate. We don't give out participation trophies. I'm sorry, that doesn't build a strong community and strong men and women. There needs to be a healthy level of competition, and somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and somebody's going to lose majority of the time. It's just the way it is. I listen. Feelings are not facts. Just because you feel a certain way, just because you feel ugly, don't mean you really ugly. It's all about building that self-awareness up. It's all about building that self-confidence up. And here's what I tell people: if you lack confidence, go become competent. The more competent you are, the more confident you become. What is competency? Competency is skills. Go get skills that pay the bills, and that's where your confidence is going to come from. That's where my confidence comes from. My confidence comes from being self-sufficient and having skills under my belt that I know that's valuable to my community. That's how I'm able to sit here in front of y'all and be confident and speak the way I am, because I believe in me. You got to believe in yourself. And if you have insecurity, that's something that you have to deal with individually and build up. Don't let nobody make you insecure. You work on yourself. And you only become insecure when you stop working on yourself. Your life should always be self-improvement. Your only competition should be with yourself. You need to have that man or that woman in the mirror moment. If you don't have that man or woman in the mirror moment, you're never going to get better, and you're never going to be able to compete at a high level. You're never going to be able to stand in rooms where high-level conversations are going on. You're always going to be the one that's going to have to be quiet, and you're always going to be the one having to watch and look at others, and you're going to become a fan. You don't want to become a fan. You want to become a participant. You don't want to be a pew sitter. You want to be someone that goes out and actually gets the work and does the work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Insecurity comes from you not being competent enough. Get your competency up and watch your confidence go through the roof.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful with the. I mean, I get it about mental toughness. Some people though will grow up and they'll have great animosity for the people who share the same hue, and they will totally turn on you. And I mean, I see it. I see people that have done it, that got abused by their own community.
Now,
Growing
abuse
up,
is different. Abuse is different. I'm not. We don't accept bullies in our community, and we don't want people getting abused. But one of the ways we can help you get right is we gonna clown you a little bit. We gonna be like, hey man,
I think that's absolutely
take them
disastrous.
Jesus sandals off, man. Or man, you probably thought that tight t-shirt or them tight jeans was fly, brother. Them ain't it. And sometimes we just need that by people that we love and respect. I'm not talking about denigrating people and putting them down to where they can't build themselves back up, because we do know words affect each other. Words affect us.
Because you got people who are just not as economically advantaged, and those are the people that get talked about and everything. I don't agree with that type of culture at all.
But those same neighborhoods that I grew up where people were economically disadvantaged, those brothers made it out. Those brothers made it out. Now I'm not saying everybody makes it out, but let me tell you something, man. Listen, only a small population of us are living in these conditions. It's not as big as you think it is. Only 16 to 17% of the population is living in those poverty-stricken situations in our community.
That's not true.
And those people, the ones that actually make it out, they're some of the strongest people I know.
I get it. It just, I just don't agree with treating your people evil, man. I mean, I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just saying that, when people get to talking about folks and they don't have a room to get out of their situation, I think that's
all I'm saying.
I understand what he's saying. I could get behind what he's saying simply because my mother had this sticker on her closet, and it was just, don't do these 3 C's. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. If you keep that particular mantra in dealing with your people, you'll end up lifting them up. You'll be soil that they can grow from, rather than a weed eater that's just trying to get to fight or move all of the dead stuff aside. Now, that's again, this is just my particular perspective and what I saw, but I understand the idea of not wanting to roast your cats and roasting your cats. Because, see, in my real world, my name is too easy to roast with. So, knowing I have a name that's too easy to roast with, I'm not getting in a roasting battle.
You know what?
Nah.
I ain't even gonna say what I think about when I hear.
No.
Eddie Murphy. That's all I'm gonna say. Eddie Murphy got a line.
Hey.
I'm
And
about to
so,
say,
but I understand the idea of it lifting us up, but it can also be detrimental because you may not have some stuff and cats picking on you about it, and it gives you a certain feeling. I get that. But at the same time, I can also say the cats that I know that had missed meal cramps, some of the most successful cats that I know.
Come on.
Like, you know, I had a family member, right? And he was born with a club foot. And people in the community
You don't clown
really,
that now. You don't clown that now.
that's what I'm saying, bro. But our community did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
And,
don't clown that now.
you know, I just
There's a
don't.
difference between bullying.
Some in the community, brother. Say some in the community.
Oh, hold
There's a
on. Let me
difference
speak
between
on that.
bullying.
See, I come from a
That's
family where
bullying,
we'll
man.
clown that. We'll clown the cousin like that. We'll clown anybody like that. But I think I think that builds you up. Especially, and when I'm saying clown or roasting or whatever, it's out of love. I ain't talking about
Yeah,
nobody
we're not talking about the
bullying,
denigrating, clowning, and that. We're talking about it's out of. It
It
gotta be
is.
I
love.
think it's absolutely sick to think that way. I think that's very sick to think of somebody have a physical ailment that they can't help, and then we make
You don't clown that.
jokes about it.
You
Yeah,
don't.
no,
You don't.
I,
that's
You're not
that's
supposed to make jokes about that.
that's
And
no,
crazy, man.
I
if you,
but you're not supposed to baby people like that either. They make them weak. So
Now you don't
like,
baby them, but you don't exploit them either. You know,
honestly, but you don't treat them different to the point that they start acting disabled.
so for
just like
me, for
it's just
my
like this,
loved
right?
ones, the way I look at it, if you got a big head, if you're born with a big head, I can clown that. If you're born with anything, I can clown that. It's gonna be out of love, and
Nah, that's a
Yeah, it's. I
that's a
mean,
sick type of love, bro.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
agree with that
man.
at all.
and see, for me, it's always been
Uh,
like it keeps me in check even today. Like sometimes I just want to get out and go in a gas station, or just run in, run out. But I got to make sure I'm together. When I go
But
to
why is that the
my
most
children's
important
school, I got
though?
to make sure I'm together.
Why is that the most important? Why is that so you won't get jumped? Why are we so worried about getting joned on and cracked on? Why are we so with the outer appearance and shoes and clothes? It's like
Because
that's
I
all
see
we.
children today who can't function when somebody says certain things to them, they break down. They
But
break
this is
down.
what.
They can't function. They can't. They're so caught up in their feelings. It ain't like they skin ain't tough enough.
But
we
this is
like
what when you look at other. This is what makes me look at other races, right? Because you see that happen in our race, and I wonder why other races don't operate like that. And they thrive, and they don't have to talk about one another in a bad way in order to lift their or get them to do something better or whatever.
Let
But
me
when it
let
comes
me
to us,
let me
but
answer that.
listen, hold on, let me finish. The thing is, and that's why you have black people spending more money on Jordans than anything else. We don't own any fucking property because this type of culture, we joan and crack, and now all the focus is on our appearance and what shoes we wear and what rims we got on our car, and we don't own shit. That's what that causes. Where other
It
races
can
don't
lead to too
operate.
much materialism.
I'm
Yeah,
Absolutely. It
listening,
can lead to too much
but
materialism.
I hear what you're saying. Listen, I hear what you're saying. I don't think that's the total cost. The cause of it is we don't know how to budget our money. That's
no,
the cause.
because we're raising our
I,
race
I,
up, bro.
I,
The
that,
We're
cause of it
planting the seeds.
is
We're planting the
we want to
seeds
get.
of
Okay,
ignorance.
hold on, brother. Just don't get emotional. Let me. I'm the host. Let me say this. Listen, what it comes from. If have you ever heard that term, the real McCoy?
Yep.
You ever wonder why black people are so focused on name brand? because there were so many snake oil people out there selling stuff that wasn't real, that our mind was always focused on name brand. And then did it get distorted? Did it become, oh, now it went from name brand, and if you ain't got this name brand, you can't be, if you don't got this name recognition,
You ain't shitting unless you got the real
if you don't
stuff.
got this, these Jordans, if you don't,
Absolutely stupid.
but it stems from the real McCoy. We always wanted the real McCoy, and the real McCoy was us, by the way. It was a brother.
Yeah, I think he was an engineer. He was an engineer with the
Exactly.
trains.
Exactly.
I think our youth is getting away from that.
It stems from wanting high quality, from wanting to be equal to the dominant society and have the nice stuff also. It stems from that. Now, did we get away from that? Did we take it to the next level? Yeah. Did we clown too much? Yeah, I can say we clown a little bit too much, but that's never what it was meant to do in the beginning. It was always meant to make us stronger, so when we face the dominant society and they put us down, we don't get destroyed. We don't go start crying and whining and become traumatized by some words that somebody didn't say.
I strongly disagree. I don't think that was our mindset at all.
Break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's where that term comes, because
Can I add to that?
to build us up.
I don't think the intention was to build up at all.
Now, if you're saying we took it too far, I can agree with that. There are times, but we should not be bullying our people. We should not be harassing our people. We should not be denigrating our people. No, we should not. But little jesting here and there that helps us get right and keep tight, that's part of our culture, brother. And believe it or not, it has served us more than it has harmed us. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's move on, though, man. Let's move on. Go ahead, real quick, Anthony. Go ahead.
I think a lot of people stuck into materialism because it's a void inside. Like they always felt like left out or something. Like they want to fit in. So the first chance they get, like they always been feeling like they got the short end of the stick. So it's just always to impress the next man or shit on the next person or first girl. It's really not for yourself, because people had a whole situation crazy, but I have a $3,000 outfit. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's so, and it boils down.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that anybody should be buying their children $300 jackets. Anybody should be. To me, honestly, if we didn't make it, we shouldn't be wearing it. I'm for wearing when it comes to foundational Black American, I'm for wearing ours. I don't want to promote Gucci. I don't want to promote anything else. I want our own designers to start designing clothes for our people, and we wear that.
Right.
I want to support you because you are a foundational Black American woman or a foundational Black American man, and y'all make good quality clothing. I don't care how much it costs. I want to support that.
And I feel that, and that's where we lost that. Like, it's the supporting each other, the loving each other, the loving yourself. You can't love nobody until you love yourself. So a lot of people don't love themselves. So that's why they idolize material things to fill the void. Like, it's a void in them. Like, so they feel like I'm that guy. If I got this on, oh yeah, they gonna know this. They gonna, like, you know how it be. Like, so, but we lost that. Like, I like how y'all started the conversation off with just like uplifting brothers and stuff. But in order to uplift the youth, we're gonna have to start bringing back trade schools, teaching these kids how to work with their hands.
So let me tell you what I do like. Let me tell you what I do like real quick. I have to cut you off. But our FBA, we got to know, we got to understand. This is what we got to get into our head. Our youth don't grow up. They are built. Leaders are not born. Leaders are built. We need to start bringing back rites of passage. At age 12, our young men and young women need to be going through some sort of rites or of passage where we initiate them into manhood. We've got to bring that back. Boys learn discipline from trade, protection, They
Yeah, I
learn
think
all
you gotta
that
have
through the
black men
initiation.
around
They
though.
learn to trade and they learn how to protect. They learn how to. That's what they learn. Our girls, they need to be learning about money, healing, and having a form of sovereignty, not independence, because
Why you say money
we want to
first?
build an interdependent society. But they need to know that they have that their body is theirs, that there's an autonomy that they own and they possess in themselves. We need to teach our women that.
Why you
Okay.
say money first?
So how do you shift the mindset
Again,
from
hold on. What you say,
materialism?
alchemy? Hold on, real quick. Not the bag. What you say, alchemy?
When you said they come to women, why you said that? Why you say money first?
Because they got to learn money. They got to understand money because we know how our women love shopping, brother. They got to understand money. They got to understand not necessarily money, but economy. They got to understand economy so when they get the money, they can be stewards over the money. Men and women both need to be stewards over the money. We as men need to learn and understand money. The household needs to understand money, economic, and finances. But we got to start teaching that to not just our men, but also our women too. That's why.
Yeah, and that's a complex subject. I ain't gonna lie. It's like I'm just getting into financial literacy. Like I'm well versed in like psychology, biology, like the spiritual realm, like different things. Like I'm well versed in. But I've noticed that financial literacy, I'm a baby in it. You feel me? So like, there's so much I gotta learn. I just,
Imagine if it was taught in your household. Imagine if budgeting was taught. That's what I'm saying. We got to restore we got to bring our children to the table when it comes to finances, people. We can't block them out. And I'm telling you, you'll have a better job of understanding what they'll have a better job of understanding what their parents can afford versus what they can what they can give them. You gotta teach your kids finances so they don't go out into the world and struggle and find out on their own. So finances need to be a key piece in part of their rites of passage. That's why we talk about men having trades, things like that. That needs men. You need to be able to make money even when there's no job available, because you still got to protect and provide for your family. Again, we love our women and we want our women to love us unconditionally. But at some point, you can't be broke out here. You can't afford. We as foundational Black Americans cannot afford to be broke and have our families living in poverty because we don't know no better, or we can't get a better job, or all we know is warehouse work, and warehouse working ain't thriving right now, so we don't got nothing
but
else to do. We got to
that's
learn how to educate ourselves and grow into a better situation and into a better economy. And we got to do it. We have the first people we got to liberate is our family. We liberate our women and our children first, and then we liberate our community. That's what we got to learn.
in order to liberate or inspire them, like you gotta kind of have like the distractions off. It's because it's every even though you're teaching them, the TV teaching them, the school teaching them, they
Turn
fairs
that
teaching
TV
them.
off. See
That's
that's another
that's
enemy. I
what
keep
I'm
telling
saying.
people about Hollywood and mainstream media. We don't follow. Those are not our role models. Those are not our people. Our role models, like my role model was my father. That's who my role model was growing up. I idolized him.
Who?
I wanted to, man, the way my dad walked, the way he talked, the way he stood on business. I wanted to
Who?
do everything and more from what I seen my dad and my uncles. I had some solid men in my life, and I'm very thankful. Now, it wasn't easy growing up under that because it was a hard life. It was a very disciplined life. I couldn't do things like most of my other friends could do, but in the long run, it worked out for me. I'm I'm better because of that. Not the bag. You were saying something, brother. I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to hear what Alchemy was saying real quick.
Oh yeah. So I was just listening to everything y'all was talking about as far as like the rite of passage and what kind of things we expose the children to. And I was just more so thinking of the mindset, or how do you shift the mindset from what we kind of currently see with entertainment being like this thing that kids see as cool, versus the educational part, to where we have black doctors and lawyers and things like that, but they're not necessarily promoted within society and our culture in the same way that you always get the Meg the Stallions and the basketball players and the, you know, and it's like, well, everybody can't necessarily do that. And so a lot of these young men don't necessarily have father figures in the house either. So it's real hard to determine what, you know, the rite of passage actually is. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys, or ever heard of that.
Yeah.
So he touched on so many valid points and things that are still poignant today, even in that. And that was back in the 80s. And so you have this rise of feminization of even the black man. And we were talking about, you know, roasting and jonesing and certain things, to where when we were in school, or even family wise, those kind of things were meant, not to say just to toughen you up, but it's almost like, well, the world isn't this soft place. And so you do have to have some level of toughness or some level of grit when it comes to being able to stand up for your spaces among other black people.
That's true. That's true. That's what I'm saying. That's what we got to understand.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the club foot.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, not the bag. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
yeah, even with the, oh no, you good. I was trying to catch up on like 30 minutes of listening to y'all talk, but it was funny when you guys were talking about the cousin with the club foot. I was thinking about I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon Wayne Head.
No. What's that?
And I might be, I was born in the 80s, but yeah, it was a cartoon called Wayne Head. I want to say it might have been the Wayans brothers that might have had something to do with it, but literally the main character had like a club foot and wore this thing, but it was like he was able to make fun of himself in a sense. But, you know, the kids would crack, but it's like, well, he would crack back too, you know, and so it's like this kind of give and take that we have even amongst ourselves with the trash talk and certain things. But, you know, as long as I think it's coming from a good place, you know, more constructive than you know, critical.
Exactly. Exactly. There is a healthy form of roasting, and then there's an unhealthy form. We just have to recognize with every tool we get in life, you're going to be able to use that tool for good, and you're going to be able to use that tool for evil. So we can't throw it all out because if we say, oh, well, it could be used for evil, so we don't want to use it. No, that's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. We still use the tool for righteousness, but at the same time, we understand that it can also be overabused and overused as well too. That's it. It just is what it is. There's balance in everything. There's good and then there's bad. That's called balance. That's all it is. So yeah, man. We got to get out of the mindset that you become a man or a woman at a certain age. You understand? That mindset, I think, is not good. It's not good, especially for our community. You know, it takes a lot to become a man. I'm gonna just be honest, y'all. A lot of people don't become a man until 30, 40 years old. And I want our women to hear and understand that. A lot of your complaints, women, when you complain about men, you're not complaining about men. You're complaining about boys. I hate to say it like that, but men learn through failure. We don't become a complete man until we have failed enough and learn from our mistakes. That's how men get there. That's a man's rite of passage. And some of us are early bloomers and some of us are late bloomers. That's just what it is. A lot of people don't come into the success and the maturity and the men that they're supposed to be until they have went through enough failure. I always tell young men this. From 18 to 29, you are meant to suffer. You're not meant to go to the club and have fun and do all this and do all that. That's your prime time where you need to be taking risk. You need to be risking it all. You need to be failing at everything and trying to figure out what your superpower is, what you're good at, and then you need to figure out how to make money at what your superpower is and what you're good at. That's what you need to be doing. From 18 to 29 is nothing but a rush a rush to fail and get back up. Hit your head, bump your head, scrape your knee, get back up, and go out there, because that's when you're at your strongest. The moment you figure out your superpower, then once you figure out your superpower, you put your 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 hours into that thing to perfect it. You go from good to great at it. You become the best of the best at whatever that superpower is, and you turn it into the money-making machine. And in your 30s is nothing more than about leadership. It's all about advancing, gaining the respect of your peers and becoming a leader. By the time you hit 40, that's the moment of clarity. That's when everything slows down and you know exactly what you should be doing. You got the skills, you got the leadership, and now you're in we call it Mac mode. You're in Mac mode. Everything is so natural, nothing is foreign. It's like you're making the most money you've ever made before. You're ready to build and have a family. Men in general, men don't amass wealth. Men amass the most amount of wealth from 40 to 60 years old. That's when we really turn on. You think you turned it on in your 20s? You think you turned it on in your 30s? Man, you turn it on in your 40. That's when you really turn on, because that's when you learn from all your mistakes. And that's why I say we don't need old fools anymore. We don't need that do as I say, not as I do mentality. We need to be leading by example all the time. If I don't smoke, you don't smoke. If I don't drink, you don't drink. That's the message we should be telling our children. Not I'm drinking but you shouldn't drink. Not I'm smoking, but you shouldn't smoke. Not I'm failing in life, but you need to succeed. No. That's not how we grow a nation. That's not how we grow a people. And we got to understand that age don't make you grown. The rites of passage does. The things you experienced in life, the things you've grown from, that's what makes you man and woman. You become it by contribution. How useful are you to the nation? How useful are you to your community? That's what it is. That's nation building, and this Constitution makes sure that every child rises through the fire. That's what it is. Any questions on that, family?
No, I was just gonna speak on, some of the things that kind of are plaguing our community still. And so, I agree with what you were saying about, failing in your 20s. But again, I think it goes back to that rite of passage thing and who are your examples. And so I know too many young brothers that don't necessarily get a chance to fail, but that handful of times, if that, because some of the choices that you end up making, trying to figure out who you are or the people you surrounded yourself with, now have you in a position to where you're incarcerated. And usually, depending on, those kinds of people or what you were doing, you may not necessarily get that chance again for another 10, 15.
Yeah, but you know what?
So, again, what... Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I think there's a lag. So when I see that pause, I think you're done. So I apologize. I think there's like a slight delay or something like that. But what I'm saying, some of the most smartest and intelligent people I know came from the prison system. You do learn. I don't discount anybody because they made some mistakes in their youth. Because again, you can grow past that. You don't want to become institutionalized. That's a real thing. But some people actually go in there. There's a brother I watch on Instagram called I think it's called, is his name Black Wall Street, or they call him.
I know who you're talking about. He's been on Breakfast Club and a couple other things. This
brother went into the prison system and learned how to day trade. So there are some times where, you may make a mistake and you may have to sit down for a little bit, but you have the opportunity to work on yourself more than somebody who's on the outside because you don't have no distraction. All you can do is go up. some of the most intelligent people I know come from the street. Common sense,
Oh, for sure.
common
Oh, for
sense
sure.
still trumps. Believe it or not, common sense, street sense, street smart to me still trumps book smart. Now you want to be both. You want to be both to really do what you want to do on an immaculate level. But you either going to be book smart, you're either going to be street smart. But I'll say if you can be both, you're going to be a powerful force on this earth.
Let me say this right quick, bro, because I do have to get out of here. I don't want you to drop me. But since I got the crowd in the room like it is right now, I want to make
Yes,
sure I
sir.
remind my brothers and sisters in the diaspora and in the FBA community, do not forget to always monitor and follow the new black media, Professor Black Truth, The Black Authority, 𝗤𝗏 Nasheed, Lisa Cabrera, Afro Elite, and a host of other young brothers and sisters who are out here making sure that we stay on code and get on code. But I will say before I get up out of here, peace, reparations, and be the kings and queens that you are with every step that you take.
There we go. There we go. And listen, y'all, we're gonna do part two. Appreciate it, brother. We're gonna do a part two, and probably a part three to this because there's no way I'm gonna get through the whole Constitution. You know, right now we're on. I think we're on rites of passage, and I'll just say this: you don't become a man and you don't become a woman based on 18. These are lived experiences that you must have. There needs to be a rite of passage put in place so the community knows that you are no longer a child, that you are no longer doing childish things, but that you have crossed that age to where you are considered an adult in our community. That's why we need to instill a rites of passage. I think we need to start the rites of passage as early as 12 years old. From 12 to 16, there needs to be some sort of rite of passage for our men and our women in our community, so we as a community can judge them and hold them accountable, not based on some 18 years old. And I'm tired of people just looking at, you know, our young people as they're just going to be crash out dummies until they figure it out. That's not the way it should be. You should not have to be a crash out dummy. You should have a mentor. You should have somebody that you look up to that can give you wise counsel that you will listen to, that is of the elder or the builder class. You got to listen, family. You can't do it without mentors. You can't do it without you can't do it on your own. A lot of, you know, my dad used to say it like this: experience isn't the best teacher because experience can unalive you. You should be able to learn by watching others. You should be able to learn from other people. And if you listen more than you talk, you will learn more and you will grow exponentially. When I was in the financial industry and I was a financial advisor, we have this saying: you are the sum total of the books that you read and the people that you associate with. You should not be having bad associations.
But see, as a child, I ain't mean to cut you off, but like children, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as our community specifically, there aren't too many places where you can find positive influences in that way. And so usually, like, depending on where you live, the most prevalent things you see are usually what you gravitate towards. Kids are usually impressionable, and so you were talking about the builder or the older class of people, and it's like, well, these would be the said role models, and if they're not necessarily doing what's right, in a sense, the kids don't necessarily understand the nuance in that. And so if you see a person, you know, even with the tropes about the stereotypes with us, it's just like, well, those come from kind of real places in a sense, because if you've been to the community, while there are, you know, people that are doing right and upstanding, why does it seem like it's more glorified to not even be a part of your own community anymore. Like even when I was growing up, your community, your neighborhood was everything. Your mama knew this person and this, everybody kind of looked out for each other. And now it's like you move places and you might not even talk to your neighbor.
Right. We gotta read. We gotta really read more because again, a lot of the associations we want may not be in the neighborhood that we're in. Let me say that again. A lot of the associations that we want may not be in the neighborhood that we're in. You can learn from you can learn a lot from a fool, but there's only so much a fool can teach you because all you're learning is what not to do. You got to get around people who are actually doing it. You got to get around people who are actually building something. You got to get those types of associations. They say birds of a feather will flock together. If you're hanging around
I
people
feel like it's up to each. I feel like it's up to each individual person to like find that community wherever you are. Like I'm from Detroit, and here it was like obviously like a lot of crime and stuff like that happening, but it was like always a place that I could go that I could find like good black men, like people who was interested in the same stuff that I was interested in. So if you don't go out of your way to find those people, and you're like idle hands do the devil's work. So if you're around other people who are idle, trouble will find you.
I agree with that. So I want to say I don't know if we can put it on ourselves when we're so young, when we are minor children. I think, and I'm going to put this on adults. I was going to just put it on y'all. But I'm going to put it on us adults that when we see a wayward heading child, that we should take them, mentor them, and grab them, put them under our wing, and show these children a plethora of things, so that they aren't busy with being, or they're not entrapped with that the ill state of mind that we don't want them to be in. We don't want them to head down the wrong road. So it is incumbent on us to get those children who we see are missing guidance from either their parents, their schools, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's our responsibility to take that on. Right. That child is not going to go find it because they don't know what they don't know.
Right. I'll say this: mentors are chosen, and as much as we want to say that the child's not going to choose, the child does choose. The child will choose a mentor. That doesn't mean they're going to be a good mentor, but we have if you're going up in the hood, your mentor may be that dope dealer, that D-boy. You see what I'm saying? So we will choose, but the more positive influence and that you can put around that child, the better, because we should be choosing better mentors. We should be choosing mentors that challenge us, not mentors that tell us what we want to hear. We got to get out of that. We got to get out of that. What I want to call it. We got to get out of that that comfortable bubble.
I was like when we talking about like who we associate with. Like when you consider like especially like being black and young and growing up in America, like sometimes these people who you're talking about who we associate with, sometimes it's your family.
Yeah.
I feel like with people, like you have to take the good and appreciate them for like the good qualities you can take from them, and the bad stuff, recognize that it's bad and try not to do it. Because like even you say like the dope dealer, like a lot of times growing up, sometimes the dope dealers, they was the ones who was like encouraging you to stay in school. They would give you money if you ever needed something to
come on,
like if you fell short, and they would do it, and they would tell you like don't sell drugs, don't do what I'm doing.
Listen, man, everybody knew my dad on the block. Everybody knew my dad. I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly single mothers, and there was the only fathers in that neighborhood was my dad and this African dude. Okay, those are the only fathers on the block. Okay, man, as much as I wanted to get into trouble, they was like, nah, man, you can't do this. You're better than this. You're so and so's son. Going over there,
The neighborhood held you accountable.
Man, I'm telling you. Listen, man. I remember me and my buddy, man. My dad used to be real good friends with the guy that owned the 99-cent store at the corner of the house. Like this Middle Eastern guy. named I won't mention his name, but he owned the 99-cent store, and then he ended up owning all the Papa John's in Southern California. Okay, so we knew this guy. Me and my buddy, we needed some money, so we did milk runs. We did some milk runs. Okay, even though I had a good father, even though I knew better, I still did some things I wasn't supposed to do. I was trying to get paid. Okay, so I went and did some milk runs, took some aspirin, some milk. Put my little tights on up under my pants and stuffed everything in my tights, and I wore these big old pants, and I walked up out of there. Okay, walked up out of there. And where was we gonna sell this stuff to? The 99-cent store. So if y'all don't know, the 99-cent store, they get a lot of stolen goods come through. They get their stuff from Ralph's, from Bonds, from Stater Brothers, from all. They get it from people like us. They get it from people on the block. So we went over there and we sold it over there. And I will never forget the look that the 99-cent store owner gave me when he saw that I was that I was my dad's son. Mm-hmm. Now he still gave me the money. He still took those stolen goods. But he gave me that look like, this ain't you. You ain't supposed to.
Like in my neighborhood, like we had a park in the neighborhood since I was born till I was probably 9 years old. The park in the neighborhood had nothing. It had no slides, no basketball court, nothing. It was just a big field of grass. And then all of a sudden, the city then started to fix it. A guy who just took his own money and put a basketball court there, put a jungle gym there for kids, cut the grass, and actually made the park something that people could do. And that really brought the whole community together, him putting that park together. And he was actually dealer who was big in the neighborhood. And they said when he was a drug dealer, he was actually a MFer, in the way he handled things. But he actually did that for the community. And and he actually threw a big 4th of July party every year. He did a big back to school drive every year.
Understand about our community that goes all the way back into the 50s, 60s, and 70s, 30s, 40s. We've always had nefarious type of people in our community, but they always knew to give back to the community because you know what? They may have had to do this, but they didn't want everybody else to go down the same path that they were in. I've always had people look out for me and say, hey, man, you play football. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. You actually got a future. You actually are smart. You're actually intelligent. You can't do this. Now, we all going to try. But if you don't got those people in your community, those people that everybody know who the D-boys, those are one of the main people that give back to the community. I don't know about the D-boys today. I know growing up in the 80s and the 90s.
Ain't no money in being a D-boy today.
Yeah, ain't no money in it. But them boys, they used to give me lunch money sometimes. Mm-hmm. Because they see, hey man, I don't want you to go do no run out to get some school clothes. They done bought my school clothes before. Hey man, I know Mr. Moxie, I know he's out there doing his thing, and listen, I know y'all struggling, but here, take this, man, because I don't want you to have to do this. Go get you some school clothes. They looked out for the people on the block. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened today, but I know back then and even in the past, that's what we've always done. So even our nefarious type people, they were kind of like a role model in a sense because they gave back to the community that they came from, that they were actually benefiting from and taking from.
For sure.
So again, man, we just got to find a way to get around, to build better associations. We have to read more, right, to educate and expand our mind. We got to get comfortable being uncomfortable because there's no such thing as constant. The only thing constant is change. We have to embrace change and embrace things evolving and growing. Anything not growing is uncomfortable. You don't want to be a stagnant. When you get a stagnant anything, a stagnant church, a stagnant business, a stagnant family, that usually and 9 out of 10 times always leads to destruction. You want to be growing constantly. The more competent you are, the more confident you become. The things that What you're gonna need more in life than anything, and I'm gonna tell you this to be the truth, you're gonna need skills, and you're definitely gonna need confidence. You need those two things. If I don't know anything else you need in this world or in this life, especially as young people, you need skills and you need confidence. Those two things will open just will open many doors for you.
I
Many,
agree.
many doors. So get those things. If you want to covet anything, if you want to strive to have anything, it's not money. Don't chase money. I'm gonna tell you that right now, young people. Don't chase money. Chase skills and chase confidence. Chase competency. If you have those things, if you become confident, if you have skills, money will chase you. You are never more. Listen, your job is never more valuable than you. You are more valuable to the job than the job is valuable to you. If you create value, you will always have employment. The job does not make you. You having a job does not make you valuable, but you having skills and you having the confidence. That's what makes you valuable, and that's what makes you be able to write your own salary, your own paycheck. If you want to learn that type of game, keep coming back here. I'm gonna start doing some more things with our young folks. But I'm telling you, money is magic. Money is not real. But I'm gonna tell you what is real: skills and confidence. That's something you can possess. That's something you can have, and that's something that will always open doors for you. Get the skill, get the confidence, and you can overcome and you can achieve anything. Let me tell you something, man. If you want to be attractive to women, get you some skills and get you some confidence. I don't care how you look. If you got some confidence, man, we used to always have some ugly dudes on the block and they'd be like, how did he get this fine woman? He stepped to her. Nobody else had the confidence to step to her. And if you got some money in your pocket, which is equivalent to skills, if you got some skills that has money chasing you, and you got confidence, there's not going to be any woman out there that can deny you. I'm not going to say you can get any woman, but you're going to get most women. Most women are attracted to those things: skills and confidence. Get you those things, and you'll never have to worry about nothing. I guarantee it. So listen, y'all. I'm gonna have to close this live out. We're gonna do a part 2 to this, probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day or Monday. What's the day? Thursday or Friday? I don't even know what day it is. Is it Friday? Okay. So probably I might come on Saturday. I might come on. If I don't come on Saturday or Sunday, y'all see me Monday. But we're gonna do a part 2 to this, and we're gonna finish out the Fba Constitution. I don't want to move too fast with this. I want to kind of take my time and be slow and slow cook this thing. And then when I'm done, I'm going to provide y'all with a PDF copy of the Fba Constitution so you guys can have it for yourself.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool, man.
Totally, everything I do, I don't charge this. Totally free. You're just going to be able to download the link in my bio, and you're going to have the whole Fba Constitution. I want you guys to read it. I want you guys to share it. I want you guys to have discussions about it. I want you guys to change it and update it.
Okay. I want to ask you, has it been getting like a lot of traction as far as like, the message that you're pushing, and not just you? I know it's like a whole movement of people, and I was kind of familiar with the ADOS movement, and I don't really know kind of what really happened to that, but
I think the FBA lineage base is stronger than ADOS. ADOS is a group, is an organization, but when you bring it on home, and it's your lineage. FBA is your lineage.
Yeah.
When you want to see your lineage grow, it's a different spirit and energy. It's one thing about building a group, but when you're building a lineage, it's just more personable. It's more real. It's more tangible that way.
Yeah, people connecting in that way, and I think that may even be a added bonus thing, where I don't know if you necessarily looked at it like that, but if you have a bunch of people that consider themselves freedmen or descendants of those people, then as y'all start to come together, you might find out that this is actually your relative, or these people are related to you through this person, and now you're actually able to build more of a family tree, or actually see your lineage in that way, to understand that it's a lot bigger than what you actually may have thought it was. And as you start to connect with these kind of people, you know, platforms like this, to where it's people all across the world that get to see this, and hopefully they gain some level of understanding, you know, as to what the actual message is, as opposed to what they may have thought the message was.
Right. And here's what I want to say before I end, and I'm gonna let everybody speak before I close it out. But I want to say this: I'm not here to denigrate Africans or Caribbeans. What Africans and Caribbeans who are not tethered, the ones who are not tethered, you shouldn't be upset about what FBA are doing. You should be actually trying to copy and duplicate what we are doing in your community and for your lineage. Instead of coming in the room and wagging your little finger at us and telling us we ain't black enough and we all African, what you need to be doing is taking this game that we're dropping here, this constitution that we're building amongst ourselves here. You need to be taking that information to your people and freeing them. The only way we're going to get on, the only way we're ever going to work with each other, we're ever going to be unified with each other, is we have to be on the same page. We have to be on the same page. If you're coming over here thinking you're going to undermine us and compete with us for our resources, that's the problem. You shouldn't be going to another community competing for their resources. You should be creating your own resources in your own homeland. You need to take this information back and go liberate your people. The black consciousness that we as foundational black Americans have, this is the only consciousness that's going to liberate you and free you from up underneath the powers that are suppressing you. White supremacy is a global thing. And we all got to get out from under it. We all do. And the only way that's going to happen is you got to adopt this black consciousness. Now, we call it the black consciousness. You might call it whatever you call it in your homeland, but you got to get it. If you don't get it, if you don't develop it, you're never going to be free. We're doing what we need to do here to free ourselves, and you need to do what you need to be doing to free yourself. And then when we come together as one, whenever that great day is, it's not today, but whenever that great day is, it's going to be under mutual respect for one another. It's going to be done through a treaty. Let's have a treaty. Let's write it out. Let's set the rules and the parameters of the treaty and the trade and all this stuff. And then let's all prosper as the melanated family. But until then, we got our own thing over here, and y'all got to do your own thing over there. And that's just the way it is. Go ahead. I'm gonna let Monique close this out. I'm gonna go to Detroit, not the bag, and then Monique. Go ahead, Detroit.
I agree with what everybody's saying in here so far. I like to talk to people like y'all who like say y'all are FBA, but y'all don't come up here. Yeah, you said to denigrate Africans. Y'all just saying facts, and it's focused on what we have to accomplish here in America, and I like that. That's all I have to say.
That's it. Go ahead, not the bag. Not the bag, you there?
Yeah, my fault, man. But yeah, no, I appreciate you for having me up, man. It's always good talking to you. I told you I like what you're doing. Been following you, watching you. I appreciate you having me up, man. I know sometimes these things get packed, man. Everybody want to have their opinion, and it's like I think you do a good job of laying out the information. And, you know, like you said, it's right there in black and white now. Whereas you start to, you know, piece it together, it's a little easier to, you know, it's not for me to necessarily be able to explain it, but it's here. So just trying to gain an understanding and build some level of unity, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And you guys are more than anytime, man. Y'all are more than welcome, man. Listen, man. If y'all, I'm in California, man. I embrace my people. I'm not afraid of my people. I embrace my people. If I'm in your town, I expect y'all to show me love. If y'all over here, I'm gonna show y'all love, man. So anybody, if y'all come out to California, hit me up, man. If y'all come out to the Los Angeles area or the Inland Empire or hit me up.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely coming
in Florida.
Hit me up. My door is open, brother. I embrace my people. I'm not afraid. You know, I don't know what people talking about. Oh man, use all these games, man. Okay. We always okay. That's them. Let them do their game stuff. But I'm talking to my people. Go ahead, Monique. Close this out.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming in and having discussion. My biggest thing is networking. Everything you're seeking is out there. Whatever that we can't find with outside, it was within us. And support each other. Support all all the black businesses you can. There's something called a national blackout.
Yes, talk about that. Talk about that.
My bad, that was a call coming in. It's supposed to be set in September. I did. I mean, I appreciate their efforts, but they were infiltrated, and it's a little bit different now. So pay attention to that. I also want you to pay attention to the people that are trying to come in and delineate what your goal is and what your purpose is on whatever you're doing. But like I said, stay focused, stay in participation. Come back and see us again, and we're gonna keep growing. Much love.
Much love. All right, everybody. Peace, love, reparations, and the blockchain. See you guys tomorrow. Take care.